Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm live again. 2 days in a row, I'm live. Big, big situations happening. Now they've got this big thing planned Monday. What's this? What is this? Juneteenth or some bullshit? You know they got something planned on the 14th. This is the protests. Zero protests in Ohio. Thank you. First time in a while you've caught it live. What's up, man? I'll react to I react from the chat in these streams, but I'll take a look at some of the riots going on now. Trump has deployed Marines to LA. 700 total Marines being added to the National Guard troops already mobilized in Los Angeles to quell opposition to immigration enforcement raids. Now they've gotten like 10 more raids they've done today, apparently. What's up? What's up? What's up, guys? The map is missing the 51st state, Alberta. Yeah, it would be like right here. Be like somewhere in this area, Alberta. We want your resources. We love you. You knew this would spread? Well, this was already planned. This 14th, they've been passing out flyers. It's all in newspapers. And if you see the flyers, it's pretty hilarious. Like, I'm going to look at some of this stuff and see. Oh, this is liberalism. Yep, liberals. This is typical liberal reaction to anything negative. They just destroy societies. Typical diversity. This is the strength of the United States. Diversity. This is our strength. This is what happens to society. And a beautiful state, a beautiful city. When you allow liberals in charge. 700 Marines in LA would be epic. You want to see this? Any feeds of it yet? Well, I don't know if they've gotten there yet. I can take a look at some of the updates. Is Southern California lost? Well, it's lost from a political sense for sure. I don't see how it turns just with the amount of immigrants they've gotten in the past 30, 40 years in California. People, California went more to the right just in general in 24, but so did every other state. It's too liberal. Today's your birthday. Happy birthday. Can I get a shout out for Justin in Texas? What's up? Send in the tanks. I appreciate that donation. Well, listen, Trump's going to have to show us, it's going to have to be his strength. You know, Trump said today that he wanted to arrest Newsome. And I said it's probably not a good idea. That's what Newsome wants because he wants to really kick off his 2028 campaign. You can see all these liberal leaders or people within Congress, they're all doing the same exact thing. They're trying to get a rise out of Trump to make it a us against him and we're standing up to the bully. That's what liberals want to show. They want to portray to their liberal base that I'm the one standing up to Trump. I should be the 2028 nominee. That's why Newsome immediately went into politician mode and started blaming Trump for all of this. It's like Newsome, you would think Newsome was running in some type of election this year with the way he's handling this. It's all become political. He's blaming Trump for everything. There's no like, oh, let me actually get this under control or try and cooperate. He just immediately goes to blaming Trump. He ain't got a chance to win the White House. Newsome, yeah, I don't think they'd pick him. I mean, he does have, the only thing Newsome has going for him, he's got that like white guy swagger. He reminds me of like a politician from the 1980s, the 1970s, the mid 1900s. But in terms of his beliefs, no. You probably haven't seen this because you're covering the riots, but have you seen the Palantir stuff? Yeah, no, I've seen the Palantir stuff. Listen, the Palantir stuff for sure is scary, but it's just like the thing is with AI, nobody really knows how AI is going to evolve. That's the thing. We have no clue. But I mean, any type of AI surveillance database is obviously very negative. And you would think Republicans would be the ones to push back against it. Seems like they're embracing it, which would be a surprise. You're 13 years old? Man, if you're 13 and you're in politics, that's crazy, man. If you're actually 13 years old. I got into politics when I was 15. Would you rather go to Italy or France? Probably, probably Italy. I don't know. I need to go to Europe at some point. That's really the place that I need to go. I need to go to Ireland. Even though people say Ireland's boring. These riots are going to ruin any chance Newsom had of being president. Well, that's what they said about the fires. The thing is, people forget it. It'll depend what happens to these riots. I mean, to be fair, and again, I don't know what this is exactly, but this was something. The day of protest or whatever. This was planned, I believe, a while ago. But now it's aligning to where there's all this happening now. The mainstream media is covering it. Everyone has the whole idea of riots on the front of their mind, and so this protest is happening in 5 days. Okay. Wait, this is this Monday. Never mind. Oh, okay, so I thought they were talking about it because there's another bigger protest that's happening on the 14th. What is the 14th? Friday? No, the 14th would be Saturday. Yeah, so we'll see what happens on the 14th. They keep talking about it. Best AI model on Polymarket is Gemini. You tried it; it's good, but it has a lot of flaws compared to Grok and ChatGPT. Yeah, I've never tried Gemini. Honestly, I don't know why. It's something about Google products. I don't know. You know, I heard Gemini was the best one currently. That surprised me when I looked at that on Polymarket, but I just use ChatGPT mainly. Grok, yeah, I tried to use it. It's fine. I don't know why I like to use ChatGPT more. But they all have their issues, right? They all do. But I mean, obviously, in terms of a nuance, like I can just tell you guys right now, you're never going to want to Google anything. It is useless. Google is going to lose. I mean, now I guess Google has their own AI system that they're going to try and supplement, like the Google search. But you shouldn't really Google search anything. Just ask an AI language model. There's just so much more nuance. It's not even close. It's like remarkable in terms of, the language models and how much better they are than a Google search. I mean, that's part of internet, it's part of evolution in terms of the better technology and advancements in terms of that. All right, we can see some of these riots. We'll see. Democrat activists doxed federal agents and directed. Oh yeah, I don't know if you guys have seen this story. This account had to be deleted. This dude deleted his account because he doxed where the ICE raids were and obviously put them in danger. I mean, how dumb are these people? Friday the 13th? Yeah, Friday the 13th again. And that always happens like once every 6 months. Do you think there will be any protest disturbing the military parades? That would be embarrassing for America. Other countries value parades a lot for symbolism. Oh yeah, it's really a nationalist thing. The parades. Trump is doing a huge military parade. Is that happening on the 14th as well? That's mid-June, I believe, is when that's happening. But it is a big military parade. I don't know. This is like going to be the biggest parade since insert date, since a while. there's a lot of stuff that they're prepping for that parade. I've seen a lot of tanks come into DC. Not that I live in DC, but I see it on the internet. There was a soy boy in your video about the riots, deflecting about January 6th. We've already had the Tesla arson riots and now this, but they want to talk about January 6th, maybe Charlottesville, because that's all they got. Soy boy in my video. You mean in the comments? Yeah, I mean, that's, if he's in, it doesn't really matter, you know. But yeah, all they're going to talk about is January 6th. But you know, the January 6th stuff is it's really irrelevant, and you want to compare January 6th to BLM, it's not even close. I mean, they destroyed multiple cities. Literally destroyed cities during the BLM riots. And liberals, the thing is with those liberal politicians, because it was this race thing, they couldn't denounce it because it was all black people doing it. So they were like, you know, it was the whole George Floyd thing. So they thought that gives black people the right to destroy literal cities in the United States. And all of the liberal politicians didn't denounce it. They all just stayed quiet because they thought if we denounced it, we're racist. We should allow them to do this. You know, with a lot of these liberals, I'm just so sick and tired of it. It's like, if this is what you believe, if this type of diversity is what you believe, you should live with diversity. But they all live in these suburban white neighborhoods. No, you should this is what you vote for. Go live with what you vote for. Go live with it. But none of them will. They continue to vote for it. Just like, you know, you see those beautiful images of in Rhode Island and right along the water, and all these are a bunch of high-end liberals who are voting for more of this immigration that's destroying cities. Not their city, but it's destroying cities. And they don't feel any of it. And eventually it's going to get so bad that it destroys everywhere. So it's just funny how that works. LA riot meme coin on Salana. I don't know. I haven't looked. Dude, you know, the only meme coin I have right now that's a trade in my Salana wallet is the DeepSeek coin. Dude, they will not release. It's called R2. It's the new version of DeepSeek. Their big model. It's so annoying. It's infuriating. They said they were going to release it in May. I think they said they were going to release it in April. So I've just held it and held it and held it. Now they're saying they're not going to release it until August or September. I'm just like, come on, man. Just release the thing. Just give me like a 10x and I'll get out of it. But that's all the other coins I'm in are long-term holds. Because I decided I used to be in more trades, but I don't know. The money kind of evaporated from those trades, I guess. You know, I made a decent amount off of that weed coin. That was a good trade for me, like legit, because I was able to make money off of that and actually get out of it I like DCA'd out of the coin. Cubs really doing good. I know the Cubs are set up well. I was watching a video on MLB Farm Systems. The Cubs are like set up in an amazing spot right now. Do you think the left even have the ability to revolt? No, I think this is all, you know, these are just really Mexicans and opportunistic people, some of the Antifa people. It's just a very small group of people, but it gets highlighted because you get these videos to where, I mean, they have been chucking things and projectiles at windshields, which is extremely dangerous. They're making Molotov cocktails. Yeah, well, this is typical. I mean, but these people all wear masks. That's the thing. This is the other thing where Newsome cries. Like, none of this is going to be... If you don't bring the National Guard or you don't do something, these people get away with it. In California, you know, they allowed literal crime, and they say, well, if it's below a certain threshold, we can't really charge you with anything. And so with these people, they just put their masks on, they go out, they throw Molotov cocktails, I mean, in the media says they should be able to do it because the police are terrible. You know, that's the whole thing with defund the police. Defund the police, why? Because minorities commit a bunch of crimes? That's why we should defund the police? Because they commit too many crimes and you think it's racist? Really? This is not how you run society. These liberals have to understand, you want a lawless society. This is not sustainable what these people want. Like, in the name of racial equality, they want a lawless society, and this is what it turns into. This is a liberal society. This is the creation right here.
They throw a Molotov cocktail. Yeah, it's on this side.
Oh, you can't arrest them.
They
It's
missed. They tried
racist.
to throw a Molotov and they missed. They came up short.
And then now they're saying defund ICE, which is another thing. It's like, we're trying to deport these people. They're illegal. They're not supposed to be here. This is what democracy looks like. Trump got in office because of this. He won with a mandate. He won all the swing states. He won the popular vote, which you guys preciously cling to, which you lost, which the only reason you win is because of the immigration. That's how they win the popular vote every year, the Democrats. You lost everything. So now Trump is trying to deport. Trump has gotten criticized by his own side for lack of deportations. They finally start doing these raids. And, you know, I saw this liberal letter. It's like this letter on X. And they were like, just so you know, it's only like 1% of people doing anything criminal. Don't let them hijack from the overall point. Our friends were raided and people we work with are being deported. Yes, because they're illegal. This is what Americans voted for. We voted for them to be deported. Listen, if they're your friend, I'm sorry. If they're not here legally, they're going to be deported. That is why Trump won. So it's like, it's just annoying. In 2020, if you ever countered the George Floyd narrative even a bit, deplatformed, fascist, Nazi, automatically purged. Oh, yeah. Well, that's why I do like, Musk has certainly helped with that. You know, now you see the things with Musk. Apparently Musk is on Trump's good side, but I don't know, man. From what Musk said about the Epstein stuff, you'd think there'd be some hangover blood with like, but apparently Musk is like, oh, I want to have a phone. Trump's like, I'll have a phone call with him now. Let's see if we can get some updates on Trump. Trump on Elon Musk. We had a great relationship. I wish him well, very well, actually. Musk hearts it. Wow, they already made up. But it's like with, I mean, come on. Was expecting the 2-1 Carmelo Elon Summer of Love. Guess that died down. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens with that trial, though. That trial still has to happen. You know, you'd think that would kick up around when the trial happens with Carmelo Anthony, because it's out of the limelight. You know how it is. I mean, the media still runs things in terms of these narratives. If they're not going to show it, then people won't really react at all. They've been quiet on it. Dude's bipolar. That's what I said. That's what I tweeted out. Musk is really bipolar. The drugs wore off. Yeah. He's but there was other things with Musk that were going on to where he was trying to get into meetings that he wasn't supposed to be in, and it's just like with Musk, he's obviously very, very rich. He's used to getting what he wants, and so when he doesn't get it, it becomes an issue. I think that's mainly what it is. And Trump is more powerful than him, even with how rich Musk is. Musk is extremely powerful himself because of the amount of money he has, but he doesn't usurp Trump, and I think it's tough for him. Like, he's trying to get in all these high-profile meetings that he doesn't have the clearance for, they were saying. It's like, saying this is what democracy looks like when violently trying to remove Trump, who was democratically elected, is peak irony. Yeah, well, I think the only people that have tried to remove Trump are just like dumb liberals who wanted a limelight, like that Indian congressman. You remember that dude? But they didn't. Not really. No liberals have supported it. But the thing is of course they're not going to try and remove him right now. They have no political power to do so. You know, if they get the House, they'll definitely try and do some stuff. And from what I know, there's like a 50-50 chance they win the House. I would say for the time, and then for like really for the next year, I would just say there's a 50-50 chance they win the House, because with the House, there's so many seats and it's too early to predict anything and give anyone an edge. That's what I would say on it. It's too close. I mean, the Senate is staying with Trump and the Republicans for sure. The question is how many seats. But the House is a little bit harder. It's a harder one to wrangle. Juan, what's up, man? Carmelo will walk free. One of the jurors will lie about not having prior knowledge of the case, and will oh no, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Wouldn't surprise me at all. You know, when they'll get very tribal about that 100%. We'll have to see what happens though. Yeah, I'll take a look at his account right now, Eric's.
We want justice! You say how?
Mexico, go back to Mexico. If you love Mexico, go back to Mexico.
Racist piece of shit.
If you love Mexico, go back to Mexico.
This is in Florida.
Yeah, and you're fat.
Some Mexican chick flipped him off. Have you guys seen the new Cope? Because every conservative and their mom has been saying, how dumb can you be? You're waving a Mexican flag to protest being sent to Mexico. Why? And then they say, well, because we were here first. They said, well, Mexico controlled California and they controlled it for 27 years and they only had it. You want to know who was there first? Spain. Remember New Spain? They controlled California. So why isn't Spain demanding California back? This is how dumb these people are when they talk about land grabs. And then we had a war with Mexico and we won. And people just can't compute it. Of course, it's dumb whites protesting against their own interests. Well, there's a lot of liberal white people. It's just the reality. But it looked like those were a bunch of Mexican people. That's in California. Or that's in Florida, not California. Trump is now deploying an additional 2,000 National Guardsmen, according to Newsome. This is on top of the initial 2,000, so 4,000 total National Guard deployed. Citywide tactical alert has been declared for LA.
Illusion is on the scene in Los Angeles, where he's been for quite some time. Bill, what can you tell us? I see it's getting louder and maybe a little bit more on edge out there.
Yeah, Laura, it is. I can tell you just a short time ago, LAPD declared a citywide tactical alert, meaning all of their officers have to stay on shift that night. They typically do that when they anticipate there could be a night of trouble ahead. I want to step out and give you a live look at what we're seeing right now. This is the other side of that federal jail that we were doing live shots at earlier. The guards you're looking at right now, these are federal CBP officers with federalized California national.
So it's confirmed they expect another night of riots.
Guard soldiers.
They expect it to escalate.
They're trying to hold the line in front of this building where there are hundreds upon hundreds of anti-ICE protesters out here chanting things like, quote, free them all, get ICE out of LA, you are traitors. And you can see the crowd goes very, very far back. Now, one of the concerns has been about attacks on law enforcement. I want to show you this video we obtained from over the weekend when...
Look at the soy. Look at the soy with the mask. He's got like a fucking... It's like a brim. It's like a beak. He's got a beak on. Look at the fat soy with the beak.
Patrol.
It's just these people. It's just. Their argument is that the U.S. is not a country. California is Mexico, just delusional people. Well, I mean, this is the issue with multiculturalism and bring people from a bunch of different countries. They've got no allegiance to the United States. They don't care about the United States. Like, this is a common phrase you hear a lot among Republican circles. They just view it as an economic zone. They just want to extract money from it. You know, Scheinbaum, isn't it hilarious? That is crazy. You want to talk about how corrupt Mexico is? Mexico elected a Jewish woman, Claudia Scheinbaum. That's her name. That's who they elected. Yeah, that's not corrupt at all. To be their president. And she said, we're going to mobilize because there's a 5% remittance tax in Trump's big, beautiful bill. Because the remittance tax, I was going to do a video on that. But I said, I'll just do a stream instead. But she said, what does that even mean? What are you talking about? You're going to mobilize what? Your cartels? This is so frustrating. Why do they not do anything 2020 all over again? Well, it's protocols because are they gonna the National Guard? You can't be the one to strike first. That's the issue. I mean, you could try and contain them more aggressively. You should go to California to protest for Canada to be the 51st. I don't want Canada to be the 51st state, though. That's the thing. It's too many liberals. You thought her and Trump had a great relationship? Yeah, but you know how those things are. They got along when there was a trade disagreement. I know that. So if that's what you're referencing, I do remember it. Charlie Kirk said Scheinbaum is a bigger threat than Putin. Yeah, Kirk is trying to turn to the right more. You can tell with his recent posts. She was low-key declaring war. I know. I don't know what that statement was. What does she mean by that? Another 2,000, so that's now 9,000. No, they said 4,000 total. Hegseth confirmed 700 active duty Marines being deployed to LA to restore order. Obligation to defend federal law enforcement officers, even if Newsome will not. Well, they won't comply. Their local police won't comply with ICE. That's part of the sanctuary city bullshit. Where are the GOP in California with counter protests? Don't they have the largest GOP base? Well, it's just they have the largest GOP base because of the population of California is so big. But this is LA County. These are a bunch of fucking liberals. The LA County is just massively lib. But this shit really kicks up at night, and that's when you really see it.
Use of drugs and medicinal. Do you think he ever had drugs here at the White House?
I really don't know. I don't think so. I hope not. Look, I wish him well. You understand. We had a good relationship, and I just wish him well. Very well.
Yeah, Musk definitely had drugs, but you gotta take the high road. Pray for Greta Thunberg. Well, that was a photo op, man. I mean, that's what that was. Didn't they like removed her off of her boat or whatever? I don't know. Israel removed her. Thing is, Dems are grouped up together in cities and the GOP is spread out in counties so they can organize. Yeah, but I mean, again, what you're seeing is these are people from all over. In LA County, I mean, the population in LA County is huge. So it's a small subset of people doing this, but you have to take that into account. But I mean, the problem is this is a bigger issue. You're not allowing the administration to do what they were elected to do, what they were democratically elected to do. And so when you have that, it becomes a bigger problem because Trump has already dealt with criticism by his own base surrounding the immigration or the deportation numbers, I should say. And on top of that, now we've got this hurdle to where they're going to bitch and moan anytime an illegal gets taken out. And it's like, if you ask these people, like, what are you protesting? You're protesting the removal of illegals. Well, they're illegally here. They're criminal. We had an election. Trump was very clear. He said he was going to remove all the illegals from the United States, which obviously cannot happen because there's too many here. But you say that because you want to remove as many as possible. So that's what he's doing. So you're protesting. So what are you protesting exactly? You're protesting what Trump, who was democratically elected, said he was going to do, and that's what he's doing, and it's all completely legal. That's what you're what are they tell me what you're protesting. You're protesting people who have no right to be here being removed. That's what you're protesting. You're a first-generation American, and you're curious, do you think illegal Mexicans or legal Muslims are more loyal to the United States? They view it as an economic zone. It's hard to answer, man. But there's also, there is a big growing Muslim population in the U.S. We see what's happening in Texas. The right really needs to get their counter-protesting going. Feel like since Charlottesville, right-wing protesters. Yeah, I guess a counter, but dude, it's like these people always come off looking so bad. Do you really want to be involved with this? that one kid that goes out and covers this stuff. He went out, Nick Shirley, I think, and he was harassed by this Mexican or who I don't even know what Venezuelan who take a guess, but it's like. He's like, this is my land. Like, what are you talking about? This is your land? Well, actually, it was Spain's land, if you want to get that technical about it. But it's like this, they do this thing where they try and claim land, and they say, we were here first, and that's irrelevant. I mean, shouldn't Russia would have claim to Ukraine, then they could say, well, we were here. Are you drinking bubble tea? Come on, man, stop. Not drinking bubble tea. Yeah, I went out and I got a bubble tea by myself. That's very masculine. No, I'm not drinking bubble tea. You heard it may take 24 hours for Marines to arrive at LA. That's way too long. Yeah, that's a long time.
She's a young, angry person. I don't know if it's real anger. It's hard to believe, actually. But I saw what happened. She's certainly different. Anger management. I think she has to go to an anger management class. That's my primary recommendation for her.
Maybe go to an acting class with her, because it's all a photo op. That's all she wants. That's why. Remember when she would get arrested at those climate protests, and she like wants them to handcuff her. It's all pathetic. You should drink more bubble tea. I mean, it is good. It is. I'm not drinking it though. It's a random thing that somebody said. I got a kick out of it. No, bubble tea is good, but I don't. I've only had it like twice in my life. Deploying troops is overkill. Trump knows it, but he likes the distraction from his failing presidency. Come on, man. You're trying to rage bait me. It's not gonna work. You have a 1.5 GPA. Are you cooked? What grade are you in, dude? What grade are you in, man? 1.5 is hard to get, man. They'll normally just give you like a what's a B average at 3.0? Anger management is his recommendation. Well,
A crime has he committed? I think his primary crime is running for governor because he's done such a bad job. What he's done to that state is like what Biden did to this country, and that's pretty bad. It's the wrong philosophy. Thousands, hundreds of thousands of illegal immigrants, many of them prisoners. They're taking up your health care. They're taking up your space in schools. They're taking up your hospital. And in many cases, they're criminals. A crime has he committed? I think his primary crime is running for governor because he's done such a bad job. What he's done to that state is.
Oh man, EJ, thank you. I appreciate it. Keep up the great work. You've been watching. I don't know what that network is for Daily News since 2016 when you were in high school, but you've replaced him for the past 7 months. Are you from Cleveland? I'm from Cleveland, University Heights. No, I'm not from Cleveland. I am from Ohio, though, so I appreciate that, man. Big fan of you and Trump. Yeah, I've stood by Trump. You know, I just say Trump's my leader, so... You know, I support Trump. What do you want from me? That's the thing is, there's a loyalty with Trump. There's a loyalty. Trump does some things we don't like. It is what it is. You look past it. The General Z, thank you for that. Dog breath Dak, love hearing you yap while at work. Hey man, you know I'm getting. I this is 2 straight days for me now. 2 straight streaming days. Shout out, Flecka's Tux. Yeah, you gotta be careful with it when you shout things out because there's a play on words people do sometimes.
Here's how the accounts work. For every U.S. citizen born after December 31st, 2024, before January 1st, 2029, the federal government will make a one-time contribution of $1,000 into a tax-deferred account that will track the overall stock market. In other words, it'll be pegged to an index that we'll pick, right, Mike?
Thoughts on libertarians like Dave Smith turning on Trump? Well, I mean, if Trump goes to war with Iran, which he's not going to, then it's going to be a problem. It'll be an issue if that happens, but we don't think Trump's going to do that. But I don't know, why is Dave Smith turning? Because Trump said he wanted to turn Gaza into Mar-a-Lago or something. I think that's what it was. But that was just a negotiation tactic. But you know, those guys, they're able to kind of play both sides. Which, look, it's fine. It's understandable if you want to do that. I don't know. Libertarians, to me, it's kind of a phased out. It's kind of phased out at this point. Libertarians. It doesn't feel like there's a big draw for. Well, their party's a mess. That's the issue. What was it, Chase Oliver? What a joke that guy was. You remember Trump went to a libertarian conference or whatever rally and got booed back when he was campaigning. I remember that. It's time for another stream streak. Yeah, I'll never be able to beat that streak of whatever it was, like 27. That's not gonna happen. That was a Cal Ripken streak. People were saying I was Cal Ripken 2.0. Remember that? What meme coins have you been trading? I haven't been trading really any meme coins. I have a bunch of long-term holds outside of like a few deep seat coins because I thought it was the new model was being released, but apparently it's not. But I had those GTA coins and they got crushed. Will the real ID be used around the country? Well, I think that, you know, as we get more and more connected to the internet, we're going to lose more and more overall freedom, unfortunately. Whether it's Republican or Democrat in office, it's just the way it is. You would like to see Republicans push back against it, but there doesn't seem to be much of that right now, which is concerning. Yeah, this is a Newsome just wants to be in the headlines. Suing Trump over deployment of National Guard. We will not let this stand. You're suing him for exercising his executive authority. That's real smart. Yeah, you're not going to win the lawsuit, and you're just doing it to get in the news. And it's a, his fundraiser for 2028. There's probably a lot of stuff on the LA riots here. Let's see. Newsome arrested by Friday. Trump said, yeah, it's going to happen. I said Trump shouldn't do that. It'd be a good look for Newsome wants it to happen. Fed decision. Hell no. Trump's bill passed by late August. That's going to be a while. Many, thank you for the donation, Sel. Many of us unwashed masses are convinced that these riots people are funded by the NGOs. Why can't the DOJ feds just shut down their bank accounts? Well, you're from Oregon, you would know. How about Portland, man? Didn't liberals shut down Portland back in 2020 or 2021? But I appreciate that donation. Yeah, definitely a lot of them are funded. I mean, you could see the Antifa people coming into the city in LA County. But honestly, the thing is, if they're funded, to me, this is not a good look for the Democratic Party to have these riots. And that's why the Democrats do the same thing every time when it comes to the riots. They'll say, well, it's protest, everyone's peaceful, it's fine. And then you'll start seeing all these clips of how violent they are. And then Newsome will say, wait, this is not good, guys. This is a bad look. I mean, Schiff came out with a quote and said, don't do this. He came out with a statement. They're all coming out with statements now. They're saying, well, we apologize. It's really not a good look for their party, for them to do this. So, I mean, if depending on whoever is funding it, it's like their own party loses political leverage when they act out this violently. And then they try and claim, well, those aren't real Democrats. Those are like opportunistic people, but they are Democrats 100%. They said, well, the real Democrats just protest. Where do you get your news from? X is the only thing I've been able to use where I'm not getting washed with liberal takes. I'll look at New York Times. New York Times. I mean, dude, the thing is, if you can read news, you'll be able to tell if something's slanted a certain way. I'll read New York Times. I'll read, obviously, X is the most up-to-the-minute one. I'll look at Zero Hedge and also other ones. I mean, X really is kind of the main one. But in terms of an article, the problem with X is you're not going to find in-depth things to where you can really understand a topic with X because it's just too small snippets. That's the issue. Like, I like reading actual articles to where seems like the left always gets away with everything GOP and Cali needs to counter-protest. Well, I mean, and do what exactly? It's like this is happening in LA County. It's extremely liberal area. I know what you're saying, but it's like this is a bad look for their party. Did they run out of Teslas to damage? Yeah, they've been going after these electric vehicles now in Cali. These electric taxis or whatever. What do you think of Ground News? Yeah, where it tells you if it's a liberal or conservative. I did use Ground News for a little bit. They came for me. They wanted to be a sponsor of mine, but I don't accept sponsorships. But yeah, I mean, I don't have anything against Ground News. You know, Ground News will show you if it's like a liberal news source or a conservative one. But I never really used it very much. I used it for a little bit just to see what it was, and I don't have anything against it. Just refresh. Yeah. Yeah, you guys got to refresh it because this happens to streams a lot. I mean, it's not just my stream. No, it's not. It's not my mic. Time to find a girl and collect 1K Trump baby bonus. Well, did you see what that was? They really shouldn't allow access to whatever that is. They said 1K and we're going to put it in an index. 1K and we're going to put it in an index. They should say you can't touch that until the kid's like 25 or something. You know, because otherwise the people just spend it on whatever. Does Hassan go to jail? He would love to go to jail. He could play victim more. You think the police will ever use lethal force? It depends what the protesters do. All it takes is one. I mean, I hope it doesn't get, to a point like that, because then you're talking about it spreading to other cities if that happened. Apparently, I mean, it is kind of already spreading, but I've heard it's tame protests. But it depends. All it takes is one person doing the wrong thing and a response from the police. Yeah, they'll respond if something happens. I mean, to be fair, it's gotten bad to the point to where they're being hit with big rocks on their windshield as they drive. Did you see this clip? Here, I have it on my X. And this is a big rock too. It's not like a small little pebble. It looked like a brick. I mean, they're lucky that didn't nail like right here, right where because it blocks his view if it hits there. Then you're talking about him swerving. You're talking about him crashing. So I mean, you do the wrong thing, there's gonna be a response. Right, they just blow the money. That's the problem. That money needs to be locked away. If you want to give people a reason to have children. But it's all a lot. It all has. There's so much other shit that has to change in the country for that to happen, and for that to be successful. Like some type of child tax credit, which it seems like both Democrats and Republicans want. They were chipping off sidewalks and throwing the cement down on the cops first. I know that I saw that clip as well, where they're like hatcheting off of the cement from the sidewalks. Joe, I appreciate that. What's up, man? SPX 6900 and fart coin popping off. I know, I've seen that. That's good. I mean, hopefully some of the other the money will flow into some of the other stock to meme coins. I'm gonna buy another stock to meme coin, I think, soon. The whale enters. What's up, Sean? The whale. The orca. Hope everyone in that car is okay. Yeah, I mean, I think we would have heard about it because it hit the passenger side. And I don't think there was anyone sitting in that seat, but it's like it's when you have something when they're this aggressive and you're talking about Marines and National Guard, you do something like this to the scale of a Marine and National Guard, I mean, there's going to be big problems. Like, it's not like the idea that these are peaceful protesters and stuff. And look at all these other cars that were just pelted. Come on. Like, this is what these liberals do, though. And they think it's okay. Isn't there talks of giving every baby an account with $1,000 that gets invested? Is that not laying the groundwork for replacing Social Security? Yeah, that I just showed that 20 minutes ago. Trump announced it, where they want to give it. But the thing is when is the family able to access it? That's the thing. It's to give the U.S. government to give every baby that's born in the United States $1,000. It'll be invested into an index fund. That's. They just announced they were creating it today. Okay. Yeah, I wonder if you can just get rid of. I mean, the thing is you want people to have a safety net. That's the thing. It's just like the whole thing of Social Security is because you can't trust people. It's like when they're 70 years old, they're gonna have nothing left. Well, shouldn't they save? But then it's like, well, I guess you can't trust them, so we have to give them their own net. I mean, technically, it's their money because they're taxed, but obviously not anymore based on the way things are going. And especially now with the amount of jobs that AI is going to take, Social Security there's no way we're going to be able to pay for all these people that are getting older. There's no way. There's going to be less jobs, and people want to work less anyways. You just got in the chat like 30 seconds ago. Yeah. No, I mean, that's what Trump, Trump announced it when where were they at, in Florida or something? It's probably, there's going to be a bunch of clips in rapid response I can say about Trump. There's so many of these clips. They're trying to promote the big, beautiful bill still. Big, beautiful bill. Yeah, talking about Greta Thunberg.
What do you make of the fact that he says you want a civil war on the streets of America?
No,
Why would the sitting president want a civil war? I mean, it's just such a provocative statement. That's just such a brain dead take.
Just the opposite. I don't want a civil war. A civil war would happen if you left it to people like him. And I liked him. You know, I always got along with him. Never had a problem with him. But he's grossly incompetent.
Yeah, well, Newsome's a talker in public. He'll be able to. He gets along with people really well, but just.
He's an incompetent governor. Look at the job he's doing in California. He's destroying one of our great states. And if I didn't get involved, if we didn't bring the Guard in, and we would bring more in if we needed it, because we have to.
Dude, what is your name, bro? What is your name? You're 14 and have a job this summer. Should I invest? Dude, honestly, I would just say save your money, honestly, if you're 14. You know, you're ahead of me. You're ahead of me. You know, when we were younger, kids got, I mean, it's good you're working, I guess. But we would say kids that got jobs at 14 were tryhards. But, you know, I got a job, maybe when I was 15 and a half or 16, I got a job. But it was like a job that I got, you know, with the minimum wage. What was the minimum wage? Like $7.50? In Ohio, minimum wage in 2016 was like $7.25, $7.50. Because I remember they had it in the back. You know, I worked at the gym as like this cleanup bitch, and you know, so I would have to clean up the floors and stuff. And yeah, they had a sign in the back. They said federal minimum wage is $7.50. You know, I think it's gone up now. It's gone up in Ohio to like $9 or something, I think. Buy BTC. Yeah, I mean, maybe buy BTC. I wouldn't be opposed of buying one Bitcoin for myself, but I'd have to spend 100K. I don't really have that money to drop right now, just out of nowhere. 100K? No, I don't have that. I could have bought like 5 or 6 Bitcoin back when it was lower and I had a bigger portfolio. Maybe I should have done that. You're 3 years old. Should you invest your money in Epstein coin? Well, since you're 3 years old, you need to invest into baby Dogecoin. Because you're a baby. You're a toddler. You need to invest into a baby coin. Come live in California. Listen, there's some great places in California. Absolutely. It's unfortunate that what's happening now in LA, though. You know, with California, rural areas and smaller cities in Cali, I'm sure, are just beautiful with amazing weather. That's the thing. You can't really lump, like, people, they always make fun of Ohio and say it's a terrible state. Based on what? Like, compared to what? Is it really worse than Michigan? Is it really worse than Pennsylvania, Ohio? It depends where you live. Like, there's much worse places. There's bad places in Ohio. Like, certain parts of Cleveland. Dayton is really bad. Parts of Cincinnati are really bad, but it's like, you can't, because each state is so different, because the states are large. They're large enough to where there's rural, there's suburban areas, there's It all depends on where you live within a state. That depends on if you think the state is good or not. It's like, you know, there's some beautiful parts of pretty much every state. I mean, unless you don't like cold weather. Well, even pretty much everywhere every state in the outside of Alaska gets hot during the summer. Every state. In Minneapolis, they have crazy riots. Well, your city got destroyed in 2020. Your city was. I've never seen riots like that. I've never seen that before. And liberals couldn't denounce them either because they'd be said they were racist if you denounced these riots. Brian Stelter back on TV. I've seen Brian Stelter a few times in the past weeks. Yeah, he's trying to like make a comeback. He's trying to like have a glow up if you've seen him.
I want to first start off by thanking you for your leadership, your vision, your commitment to
kiss up to him,
to workers and families throughout this country. The One Big Beautiful Bill would not have been possible without you, and it delivers the largest tax cut in U.S. history.
You're 7 years old. Should you go to work on the Epstein Island or in a Hollywood mansion? You're 7 years old. We need you in the U.S. government. Already 100 and I can't do 100 degrees, man. 108 in Phoenix. Yeah, Phoenix is crazy, man. Phoenix is crazy hot, and like the low in Phoenix is always like 80 degrees nowadays. I can't. That's just constant heat. I mean, with air conditioning, you can kind of deal with it. I mean, you could deal with it if you have proper AC. Don't get me wrong. But still, that's a brutal thing. You know, at night, I like when it's... You know, recently, I don't think I was streaming when this happened. I believe it was either June 1st or June 2nd. We had a low of 40 degrees. And I thought it was going to start snowing. They said there was, like, light flurries were in the forecast. No, I'm kidding. There weren't light flurries. It's not cold enough, but... Imagine that, 40 degrees on June 2nd. Don't buy BTC right now. Its dominance has peaked. Yeah, but I mean, with BTC, really, think about the amount of commitment there's been in terms of investment, the ETFs, everything. Is BTC really going to have a big retracement? I don't think so. I don't think it'll ever have a huge retracement anymore. It's thought of by too many countries as digital gold. I think, yeah, after this bull run, it'll retrace a bit, but... You know, it'll probably still go to like 160, 170K. Maybe it'll retrace to like 80 or 90K from there. I just don't see huge retracements from Bitcoin. It's just it's too mainstream now. Too many people hold it and treat it as digital gold for Bitcoin to have the volatility, and its market cap is too high now. I just can't see it like losing 70% of its value like it's done during other bear markets. I just can't see it. It's just a different time for Bitcoin. Arizona isn't that bad. It's dry heat here in Dallas, Fort Worth, Texas. It's a million times worse. Feels like, yeah, because you get sticky humidity. It's the same thing in Florida. You get really bad humidity. I went to Florida for vacation once. I didn't think it was terrible in Florida, Sarasota, and like around the St. Petersburg area. I went to a Rays game, but I've only been to Florida once on vacation. Name one good area in Ohio. There's a lot of great suburbs in Ohio. If you have money, there's definitely great suburbs for sure. And plus, I mean, it depends the weather you like, but I like the weather in Ohio. It is 100% all 4 seasons, and they're all positioned to where you get all 4. You don't get a wimpy fall. You don't get well, it depends, because sometimes you'll get, nowadays with this climate, what we have is you'll have summer lag into September. When I was younger, we would get although I don't really remember, but it always felt like when I was younger in September, it would get a little bit colder. Nowadays, it's like 80 in September, like throughout most of September. Or like once it gets to like mid-September, then it starts going down to like 71 as a high, 69 as a high. Chuck Norris doesn't flush this toilet. He scares the shit out of it. Yeah, I remember those Chuck Norris jokes when I was younger in school. Independence, Ohio is a great city. I mean, dude, I don't know why these people are obsessed with like states being bad. You understand? There's going to be like really, really high end cities and suburban areas and states. But every time I deal with it, and it's like I get pushback for saying that there's great places to live in Ohio. It's just the reality. I don't know what to tell you. Look at the areas surrounding Columbus. You grew up in Cincinnati. Well, Cincinnati's a rough one. It depends where. It depends what part of the city you're in, but the libs are not really making any sense with the reasoning for their riots. That's really a great statement because there is no sense. Trump is deporting you. The thing is they can't even do the whole Trump. It's due process and all this. No, they're raiding to try and get these illegals because all these illegals are in Mexican areas and these just highly liberal cesspool places. So there's no actual, like, what are you protesting? You're protesting the removal of illegal immigrants. You're never going to win that. You just have to ask these people, what are you protesting? Trump, the thing is it's not even like there's been anything that's the administration has done that's wrong when it comes to these raids. They haven't done anything wrong. They could try and make a point on Garcia and say, oh, you shouldn't have deported him because, according to the previous judges, they said he couldn't be deported to El Salvador. But with this situation, they're all well within their rights to deport these people or to go and conduct the raids to deport them. Trump was given a mandate to do this. He won everything. He won all the swing states. They don't have an answer. What is the answer? Why are you against Trump democratically being elected to do this and actually doing what he said he was going to do? So they have to, I still haven't heard an answer to that from them because there is no answer. This is illegal for what Trump is doing. You're just angry that you're going to lose electoral votes in California because all these people got to go. That's how they count. Why don't we change how they count how they divvy up electoral votes? It shouldn't be based off a total population. It should be based off of citizens. But it's based off a total population, If there's like an extra 15 to 20 million in this country, that's going to give extra electoral votes to like California, New York. Joe, I appreciate it. Upstate New York is great and very underrated, but unfortunately, the city's ultra left-wing government dominates the whole states. No, absolutely. No, I agree because New York is a big state. New York is a big, big state. But, New York City just has so many people. And you're right. Because think about what happens during the midterms, especially in 2022. New York, people were shocked at how competitive those races were, and Republicans won some of the districts, and yeah, people keep talking about AOC. AOC has been gaining weight. You see AOC, people said, okay, she's pregnant, but then it's like, no, now, it's been like 5-6 months. She's just gaining weight. You love the people who keep saying everything is just a distraction from Israel because they just arrested Greta or whatever. Yeah, but the Greta thing in and of itself was a publicity stunt. So it's like, I don't know. She wanted to be arrested. It's all, you're just giving her what she wants, honestly, when you arrest her. But it's honestly a waste of their resources, anyways. You need to get the hell out of Ohio and move to the Mountain West. Yeah, but I don't want to live in the Mountain Time Zone. The thing is I'll go to Central. I'll go Central Time Zone. What does he have more tweets? Let's take a look at this. They're bringing in the artillery. The thing is, I used to talk about where I was gonna move to, but now I don't. Well, I don't know where, but I don't say it anymore just because there's no need. But man, it's always sunny in LA, isn't it? God damn. What is it, like 90 degrees there today? Dr. Phil.
And I've noticed, Brianna, we all live on our phones these days. We're all scrolling through social media. You've got to be careful at a delicate moment like this to look at the timestamps, look at the dates, look at when things are actually posted, and if they're really from the situation they're purporting to be. A lot of these algorithms are surfacing hours old or even days old content.
You know, that's what happened. That Newsome called that out. Newsome was like, no, this is from 2020 when liberals attacked. It's like, oh yeah, this is the other liberal riot and domestic terrorism. I'm sorry, we got it wrong. This is the other domestic terrorism. Do you live in LA? Come on, no. It's 77 degrees. That's a decent temperature. Brian Stelter thought he was gone. Yeah, he's making a comeback. He's making a comeback on CNN. CNN's getting desperate. They need to bring the big guns in. They're bringing the big boys in. The Marines, they said, I don't know, are the Marine, what is the Marines ETA? Is it tomorrow? Somebody told me it was 24 hours. They weren't coming until 24 hours. I don't know if that's right.
Illusion is on the scene in Los Angeles.
All right, I already saw that. Let's just search it. Oh, everyone just keeps talking about this account. It's like, we get this account. Let's see, the libs of TikTok sometimes post shit.
You sorry cock-sucking sons of a bitches that think that you're just gonna go and fucking arrest a bunch of protesters because they're out there doing something you're too afraid to fucking do. They're out there fighting for our freedom, and they're out there fighting for our right for free speech, cause fuck you. All 2,000 of you fucking National Guardsmen, you brave-ass fucking soldiers, you think you're gonna march in those streets and tell those people to shut the fuck up? That is what you decided to fight for. You chose to defend us against all enemies, foreign and domestic, and you fucking failed. And that's why they're out there on those streets. So who the fuck are you to tell them to shut the fuck up? Why don't you grow a pair, take off your mask, and tell me your fucking name? Because my name is Alex, and I say fuck you!
I thought she was going to say, take off your mask and ask me your pronouns. The septum piercing. The septum piercing gives it away. Shut up, bitch. Bitch, please. Dude, what about this one woman? Dude, this woman was like possessed or something. Remember this? You gotta see what I said to this woman. Just look at this. Look at this.
I get the fuck out of LA so that order can be restored.
And I love how she has to say it on like a plane. You dumb bitch, ISIS there to restore order. Oh, man. What the fuck is that thing? It's liberalism. This is what liberal is. That's just a liberal. This is what liberalism produces. This is what liberalism. This is the result of 4 years of liberal college, of a liberal arts degree. The result.
I mean, my first message is to keep it peaceful. I mean, obviously, this is a moment where we... I mean, my first message is to keep it peaceful. I mean, obviously, this is a moment where we have to be on the streets all over the country to protest what's happening to our immigrant community, but more broadly, to protest what's happening to our democracy. This is the most corrupt administration in the history of the country, and we are going to rise to this moment by being out there on the streets. But, you know, ultimately, I think the country sees what Donald Trump is trying trying to do here. He's looking for a fight. There's nothing in what he is doing that is about peace or about restoring order. He's taking a protest that is relatively isolated. People in Los Angeles over the weekend would tell you that 99% of them went about their day, and it was pretty normal because this is not an invasion that has taken over the entire city. And he's trying to turn a protest that is pretty small into something that involves an even bigger confrontation so that he might actually be able to invoke the Insurrection Act. That would be a defining story of the week if he were to do it. And I just don't think, I think we have to make sure that we understand to not take him at his word. He's looking for a fight. He's not trying to calm tensions.
Yeah, all they say is mostly peaceful. It's always peaceful. They're throwing rocks at windows and windshields trying to cause the police to crash. It's always peaceful. David Mercoin going crazy. Oh, I'm sure. You still use Pump Fund, bro? RIP to your wallet, bro. RIP to your wallet. You use Pump Fund? That's where funds evaporate. You go in Pump Fund. Your audio's cutting in and out. You need to refresh it. Refresh. Please refresh. How can Thomas Massey raise money for Israel off the riot? He can grift off of Israel and he talk about Palantir. Talk about Palantir. Talk about Iran. Talk about Trump Gaza Hotel. She was saying that they failed to go after the enemies, foreign and domestic. She needs to know that they are going after enemies who are domestic and are about to be foreign. Oh, yeah. I mean, these are illegal immigrants, honey. Wake up and smell the roses. We don't really... I mean, when you've got people like Charlie Kirk now going more right-wing, I mean, the writing's on the wall. The country's obviously shifted to the right. Let's be honest. The country is shifting far right. Let's be real. If you got offered $100K a month to be a DNC shill, would you do it? And be honest, I don't need it. Honestly, I don't need $100K. What would be the purpose of it, anyways? It's not worth it. It's not worth it. I don't need it. Septum piercing makes it hard to smell the roses, though. Yeah, you can smell the you can smell the metal. You can smell the metal. Yeah, we got some horny people here. This is, we got some trolls. Why is domestic terrorists such a controversial term? It's literally what they are by definition. Because the word terrorists has a really... You know, it's a loaded term. It's a loaded word. So people don't think it should apply. Like, when people think of terrorists, they think of, killing people. You got banned on politics subreddit for stating the obvious, double-digit downvotes on each comment. Yeah, the our politics has been cooked since the beginning of time. Any of the political subreddits are done outside of like the few conservative ones. Any of the state subreddits are done. It's like R Wyoming, and it's just a bunch of liberals. R Wyoming, and they're like, wow, this is really a leftist state. This is really a liberal state if you think about it. Are you gonna watch Extreme Peace? I don't know yet, D-Pool, I don't know. That's why we love you. Sean, I appreciate it. It's the summer of love. Well, hopefully not. I mean, we'll see what happens. It's gonna make the left look bad if they start these riots and they go, because these are the people that do this. I mean, it looks bad for their party. They start doing these riots, and we'll see if there's any more updates. Should I look at Elon Musk, see if he says anything? It's Elon. This is not okay. Elon trying to kiss up to Trump now. You got banned for posting a swastika on Reddit. Best moment of your life. You're not a Nazi, but it was hilarious. Well, I mean, what subreddit did you post it to? But yeah, no, TikTok's honestly horrible in terms of anything. But dude, here's the thing. This is what you have to realize with TikTok. And I'm being honest, this is actually what happened. So I had somebody, a young dude make me a TikTok profile where he would post, you take clips from my channel and you post them on TikTok. And the thing is I got to like 11K followers, but I don't have access to the account. So he stopped doing it. He said, I'm not doing it anymore, dude. I said, all right, that's fine. Whatever. It's TikTok. It's what I don't do the short form shit anyways, but it's like, I mean, if I have 11K followers, then that's, so I'm like, can I at least have the account? But I haven't been able to get the account. But then there's this dude that posts, this leftist that posts political videos that are really liberal videos on TikTok, and he uses my profile picture. And he calls himself, I think he calls himself Depressed Ginger. And I'm just like, this is a weird individual. These liberals, man, these are some weird people, I'll be honest. Oh, man. Well, I mean, it's hard to predict how advanced AI is going to be. You can say it's going to be everywhere, but who knows? You probably said that, we'd all be in self-driving cars by now. So, normally it takes longer than people think, but that's just kind of how it is. It's a weird situation with that dude. I don't know what that is. Well, it was flying cars first. Now it's self-driving cars. They can't even get that right. Yeah, I know. Well, it's impossible to predict anything in that into the future. I mean, the AI stuff I can understand, but I feel like the AI is going to be slower than people think too. People automatically immediately say, it's like, what do you base this off of? Well, it's advancing. Well, I mean, it does take a while for that stuff to really... But to be honest, sometimes it happens and you don't even know, like the iPhone, for example. That was a development. In 2006, iPhone didn't even exist. Now everyone has an iPhone. Everyone had an iPhone in like 2015. What are you drinking? No, dude, I don't get DoorDash. Fuck that. I don't get DoorDash at all. Hell no. Hell no. Thoughts on Lord Miles' invasion of Haiti? I mean, that's got to be a joke. That's got, yeah, I saw the application form. That's got to be a joke. Piers Morgan went off on Greta. Yeah, Piers is he's like more of a liberal, I heard. I don't know. But you know, with Piers, he's like in the middle. Anna Luna versus Nancy Mace in what? I'll take Anna. Thoughts on Jersey Mike's, the sub place? I don't think I've ever had Jersey Mike's. We don't really have many Jersey Mike's in my area. We have legitimate flying sports cars now. Yeah, but they're not. It's not like they're everywhere. I mean, it's very rare to see something like that. We haven't achieved that level. Yeah, at a certain point, you're going to have to just delete those comments. I mean, it's like, it's just not worth it, man. I mean, just give it a rest on that. Seriously. George Droid, I promised to save the city. You know, I saw you went to India. Have you seen that? Have you seen that video of George Droid going to India? That's a good AI video. How many points do you have on the McDonald's app? I don't have a McDonald's app. I don't go to McDonald's often to accumulate points. You know, I eat healthy. Sometimes I have like Chipotle, and so I eat real healthy now. Thoughts on Aaron Rodgers saving the Steelers? That's not going to happen. He's not going to save the Steelers. The Steelers will go like 8-9, 9-8, something like that. Watching a live stream of LA looks like D-Day, and then seeing Newsome post about LAPD having everything under control was an interesting experience. Well, of course, Newsome says that. You know, with Newsome, it's all about, like, I wonder how many posts Newsome has done. I haven't really looked recently. So yes, no, you're really Gavin Newsom seriously cares about his citizens. He's trying to score political points by suing Trump on a national level. More Trump stuff. Trump, 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 Trump. Trump, 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 Trump. It's only Trump. It's only Trump. What about your city? It's Vance. Now it's Vance. Oh, and now it's January 6th. Oh, he's quote tweeting Eric now. Oh, Trump, 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 Trump. Dude, this guy. Thoughts on Crystal Ball? She has severe TDS. Yeah, just another crazy liberal woman. Trump, 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 Trump. We are suing Donald Trump. Oh, you're suing Donald Trump? Seriously? Oh, this is amazing. You're fighting for your people. Yeah, I saw Trump sending another 2,000 troops. Tom Cotton. How about Hillary Clinton? You're not allowed to reply to her. Oh, I get, no, you're not allowed to. Hillary Clinton was getting harassed so bad in the replies, she had to turn off the replies. Yeah, she's had her replies off for a while. But it's just this obsession with Trump. This fixation. You thought Newsom was trying to go more towards the middle. What the hell is this? Well, for him, this is great. This is even better than his fake middle shift that was, spurred by his podcast that lasted like 5 episodes. Because this is him direct conflict with Trump, suing Trump. Liberals hate Trump, so you go against Trump, that's going to earn points. Yeah, the symbolism of them waving Mexican flags is pretty insane. Even liberals on Reddit were like, you should probably wave American flags. It doesn't make sense to wave the Mexican flags. Then they're like, well, this was our land. So do you want to go back to your actual land? No, you don't. That's the whole point of the protests. But I mean, the protests are they make no sense. His podcast went from talking to people on the other side to a one-sided echo chamber in a month. Yeah, but the thing is with Newsom, if he does that, he has to know nobody's going to care about the podcast then, because I haven't heard about it at all. If you want like a mainstream thing, you need to have someone like JD Vance on. Because otherwise nobody cares. You talk to other liberals like Adam Schiff, nobody gives a fuck about that. It's not interesting. Tim Walz and Newsom ticket would be laughable. Yeah, they're not going to do anything with Waltz, though, man. They just won't. Well, there's no way Waltz will be on any ticket. And they're not that dumb. Although, I don't know. Them picking Waltz in the first place was really dumb. Because they tried to go with like a white dude, typical generic white dude, and it's like the worst one. Bashir would have been better than Waltz. Way better. Even though it wouldn't have mattered. I mean, the VP is a little impact, but Waltz was such a blubbering buffoon. Yeah, did you see the Maxine Waters thing? Dude, the dude's just like, bitch. The dude slammed the door in her face. He's like, bitch, leave.
No.
She's like waddling up.
I want you to... Hello. Congresswoman Waters. I just came to use my congressional authority to check on David.
Ma'am, we're lobbying securely now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public affairs office.
I need to get in.
Go home, bitch.
What are you hoping to do, Congresswoman?
I just want to see David Werta. Right, 6, 7.
They slammed the door and then they were like, bitch, go home. Tim Walz runs a mean pick 6. Yeah, that just shows you where that party is at. Saying that his favorite play is a pick 6. Okay. Somehow if AOC were to get the nomination, what are her chances against Vance realistically. Very low. AOC is just too, especially nowadays with where the country is going. They just elected Trump. AOC, I mean, obviously it depends how the administration goes, of course, and what Vance does and everything like that. So there's a lot of stuff that has to be ironed out before you just say, but I think AOC. I mean, the only thing I could see them doing with AOC is a VP, because she would get younger people and it would be seen as like a more younger ticket, which is what they might want to go for. But it'd have to be a white dude in AOC. That's the way I think they would do it. Or, I mean, I don't know. People say Westmore, I guess, maybe, but it's like a white dude in AOC as the VP. But AOC running the ticket, there's no way. So she doesn't have enough experience to even do that, to where people, you know, a lot of independents would find her viable. Remember when Maxine Waters was protesting USAID and the one bald white dude was blocking the door? Yeah, that was hilarious. Well, that was a bunch of them. They were all convened in that small area up against that door. And she's like, why won't you let us in? Well, this is another thing. Now she's had issues with doors in the past like 2 months. She can't seem to get in any of these doors. Now you're not going to get in. What if she just like really tried to just open it and she gets into like a tugging war with the dude on the door? That would have really been a good spectacle to see. Maxine is the prime example of why we need term limits. A lot of them are a good example. But yeah, there's another one. Move, bitch. Get out the way. You'd bang AOC, no questions asked. Well, AOC has gained some weight. Imagine a David Hogg AOC presidential ticket. Well, didn't they kick Hogg out of the party because I don't even know what, but he was like misutilizing their funds or some shit, something like that, and they kicked him out. They kicked him out of his role. They said, "Well, you're a white dude, you can't have this job," or something. I think that's what they said to him. Gavin Newsome announces more law enforcement is going to Los Angeles. Is this seriously going to break out tonight? It's so funny. Yeah, but imagine it was like a tug of war with the door, you know what I'm saying? She was trying to hold it, but then she's like, it's not worth it. Realistic Democrat ticket, it's probably right now. I can't really say Newsome. I think it's an outsider, honestly. An outsider and someone like an outsider and a minority female. An outsider white dude and a minority female. Cuban and AOC. Imagine. Do you think KJP leaving the Democratic Party will do any damage? Well, of course, KJP is a huge political player. I'm being sarcastic. I thought that was hilarious. Wait, isn't her book titled Independent or something? But it's hilarious. How is the lesbian black woman? She's like, you know what? Uno reverse, bitch. I hate the Democrats. But then they're like, oh, she's just grifting and stuff. But I thought it was hilarious. So the LA rumor is they're going to start lighting fireworks at sundown. I thought they already were doing fireworks and lighting fireworks off in the direction of police, that from what I saw. But yeah, no, I think, you know, at night it tends to get worse, so we'll have to see. The thing is it's only 5:41 there. or 5:34. I don't know why this clock is 7 minutes ahead. Westmore AOC 2020. I mean, it wouldn't shock me. Westmore said he's not running, but I don't know. I thought fireworks were illegal in California because everyone always makes fun of it because they just shoot off fireworks anyways on the 4th of July, and there's all those aerial videos of a bunch of fireworks being shot off in LA. It happens every year. You actually see a bunch of people on the left arguing they need their own Trump. Cuban could try and grift his win. Yeah, but to me, it doesn't work with the left. The left is a lot more walled off, and they're still controlled by the establishment. The Republicans kind of broke free of that in 2015. I don't think they will. I mean, maybe they get more desperate because of Trump's victory and they try something different. But even with someone like Cuban, it's like, I don't know. Would Cuban have the same pizzazz with Trump? With Trump, I don't think so. Especially from a Democratic standpoint. Cuban has something where he has this company where it has lower drug prices. I know he does that. You were at 3 riots today. Can you tell Chris and John to have a beer? Well, I mean, you guys can have a beer. It's always awkward but you were at 3 riots today, all in California? Tim, thank you for the membership. You want to move to Japan? It's traditional and conservative. Yeah, but they tend to only like Japanese people, which is understandable if it's their country. But yeah, no, they are. I mean, Japan has very strict immigration rules. You probably wouldn't get in. Bring in the military. Trump has to stop the riots. Well, yeah, they're bringing it in. They are bringing in the military, so we'll see. But they said it was going to take 24 hours, or they're going to get there by tomorrow morning. Our NATO, Europe is useless, sadly. Well, I mean, Europe is trying to rearm themselves, so we'll see, but EJ, did you see the commies calling for Mexicans in the NGUSMC to revolt? You're in the army and the most based racist dude on immigration are Mexican. That doesn't surprise me. There was another, I saw in the protest, some dude wearing a Soviet Union flag on his back. I mean, there was a segment of that party within but I mean, all of these people, they're just all provocateurs. A lot of these people that go out and protest. Do you think Ramaswamy has a chance of overtaking Vance for the 2028 nominee? No. No, Ramaswamy sunk his chances with that H-1B stuff. I mean, he's out of the administration because of that, in part. You remember very clearly when they brought in the National Guard to suppress the January 6 riots. Remember 3 days before the riots happening, the Republican House Committee exposed it, that Trump demanded the National Guard 3 days before January 6th and demanded military, and they didn't bring them. Otherwise, they never would have broke in. See, that's the big thing that liberals needed. They needed the break-in into the Capitol. They needed the break-in to happen. They wanted political leverage. Then they banned Trump off of everything because of that. The thing is I would never move out of my country. It's just not something I'd want to do. I know a lot of guys maybe a bit older than me that leave that you know, what do they say? They go to the Philippines and Thailand. No Vance Trump 2028. Only sorry, DJ. Yeah. Yeah, we don't need any more of those. We got enough of that from you. But yeah, I don't know, man. It just depends how Trump ages, but it's probably not gonna happen. Come on. You're starting to learn Japanese, and that really helps your chances of getting let in. Dude, that's gotta be a rough language to learn. Yeah, they made me go through some classes. You go through classes in high school, you have to take a foreign language. That was always annoying I hated doing that. Is that serious? ETA 5 hours 33 minutes, troops passing through San Francisco? Wasn't it Nancy Pelosi who rejected Trump's request? Yeah, I mean, it's irrelevant who it was. There was a bunch of collusion with Democrats. They wanted January 6th to be as bad as humanly possible, as much destruction, as much damage. It's for political leverage, and then they say, "Oh, look how terrible this is." Well, they wanted it to be that bad, and so it's what they utilized to just silence Trump, and they thought destroy the movement. It really is crazy how January 6th, and just the fact that Trump won the popular vote 4 years later. Like, imagine saying that after January 6th. It's insane. Thomas Massey grifting again. Israel's Palantir. Mike Johnson announced he's using Rules Committee to change the text of the Big Beautiful Bill a week after we voted for it. If you enter this country illegally, you broke the law and should be deported. Also, enforcing these laws should not require bankrupting the country. Can we agree on these things? Well, yes, that's obvious. Vance Trump Jr. 28. Yeah, I don't like Trump Jr., man. I don't think Trump Jr. is very likable. I mean, you know, the thing with Trump Jr. is, I guess you get the MAGA base. I mean, Trump Jr. would have to be the VP. There's no way he could lead the ticket. But who knows with Trump? He's a wild card. He may want his son. But that's like the dynasty thing that people want to get away from. It's crazy how Trump can be super controversial and have mass appeal at the same time. Well, I mean, you can kind of do that when you've got a two-party system in the U.S. But also the thing is that we have to know, you know, a lot of people in the United States don't participate in politics. What percentage of people even vote in elections? Like 65%, 70% maybe? Turnout? The left is calling Trump's birthday celebration a dictatorship and waste of $93 million in a military parade. Well, is it seriously 93? I mean, 93 million is nothing. When you've got things like USAID that cost 20 billion, 93 million is a picnic. And by the way, that 90, whatever it is, I thought it was less than 93 million for that parade, but you know, that parade it's for nationalism and patriotism. That's mainly what that parade is for. But the thing is with liberals, they hate the United States. So whenever they see something that is propaganda for strength for the US, they hate it. Because they hate the country. You know, they hate our founding fathers. They think they're all horrible racists. I mean, they just hate our country. And so, again, when they see a parade that projects strength from the United States, it makes them very angry. That's really what it comes down to. Thank you. I really don't understand why we allow these evil people to destroy our country. Well, it is a very, this is a contained right now mainly to, I mean, we'll see. If it gets like the BLM stuff, Trump has to do something to where it can't get to that level again. That cannot happen. If that would be real bad if something like that happened. But hopefully Trump's the Marines that Trump is sending in put a kibosh to this, and there's nothing that happens and it really goes well in terms of quieting this down. Yeah, I heard it was 43 million. 45 million, yeah. They said it's 93. I don't think so. Do you remember some of your subscribers? Yeah, I do remember my subscribers. I mean, not IRL, but in the chat, I remember subscribers. View on RFK Jr. I think RFK Jr.'s done some really good things. I think RFK Jr.'s done some good things in terms of the food situation and promoting working out in the. I mean, because we have a huge problem. We have just a massive obesity issue, and he's got the food dyes. He's got the new food pyramid. The vaccine stuff. We'll see what happens in terms of what they're finding. RFK Jr. said that they were going to release a big study. I don't know if they said it was in August or something on the vaccine stuff, so we'll see what they find with that. But obviously something has to be done in terms of the health of Americans. It's just horrible. I mean, when you compare us to Europe, it's like insane. Vance and Rubio is the perfect ticket. I don't know about that one. I mean, I would say right now, pretty much everyone would agree Republican ticket would be Vance Rubio. If you're into this because that's just what it's trending to. But I mean, obviously that's going to likely change within 3 years. Do you remember Goongate? No. Was that on this? You're talking about this chat? When this chat did it? I mean, this chat's been saying some shit tonight, but I remember when the chat was going crazy. That was like a few weeks ago. You can get a single family detached home for $300K. It depends what type of shape the house is in. You could get homes in the United States for $300K for sure. Depends on the area. The housing prices in the United States are all dependent on the area in which you buy. There's some really cheap shit in Texas, man. I always tell people that, but I just saw it. I see it all the time. Not that I don't want to move to Texas, but I'm just saying. I'm always surprised. It seems like decent. The thing is, when you move, you really have to know I want to know the area I'm moving into. It's just so important with demographics. Are you going to make more history videos like the election stuff? Yeah, I was thinking of it. We'll see how that video does. I was thinking of maybe doing. I mean, it just depends. It depends how the videos do. You think the rhetoric from Gavin will backfire? I mean, I think if nothing else happens with this, it's just going to be mainly memory hold, this type of thing. It depends if it gets worse or not with the Marines coming in. But with Newsome, all Newsome does is he says Trump bad, he's evil, he's using dictatorship authority, and liberals will say, well, yeah, we love him. But I mean, to me, this doesn't catapult Newsome into the top. I mean, they said the same thing with the fires when he went against Trump. It's like, this type of stuff. It's this obsession with allowing illegal immigration and allowing illegal immigrants, and that's what they're defending is illegal immigrants. Will Republicans lose the midterms with the House and Senate? They're not going to lose the Senate. The House will be close. You can't predict with the House. You like Texas, but you don't know if you'd want to move. Dude, moving from Texas to fucking Japan, that seems like a crazy, crazy move. Kash Patel. I don't know what happened to Kash. Well, some people got into Kash Patel's ear and said, you need to shut up about this. Top 5 political comebacks in U.S. history video question, Mark. I was going to do top 5 worst primary candidates in recent times. So, like, 2008, 2012, like, Jeb Bush is obviously one. Like, just random people that were just terrible and wasted a bunch of money. I think that's kind of an interesting video. Texas, way too car dependent. You want to live somewhere that's walkable and people friendly. It depends which area of Texas. I mean, you're describing a liberal area. Because, people in the chat and me, we're fine with it being car dependent. We don't really, if you want to live in an area like that, it's going to be liberal. I mean, unless you go to, I guess, a different country. You can't wait to move out of Colorado when your contract is up in 2020. Yeah, well, Colorado got liberalized for sure. I'm sure all the suburban areas are very liberal. Boulder, Denver. Is Jeb still alive? Dude, honestly, I want to see actually what Jeb's been saying. It's very valuable. 1.2 million. Good for Jeb. 59 likes, make it 60. Give yourself a retweet. Like, see how I'm contributing to Jeb? You gotta love Jeb. I want to get Jeb's comment on these protests. I think it's important. Is Massachusetts liberal? Massachusetts is very liberal. All those white areas up there are very liberal. Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Delaware. New Hampshire's more kind of in the middle. Vermont, very liberal. Maine is more in the middle. Bro giving Jeb some love. Yeah. Fetterman says Democrats have lost the moral high ground. Did you see the recent approval rating poll that came out for the senators? Fetterman was the worst out of any Democrat in terms of approval. It was like Democratic approval, and Fetterman's was the worst because Fetterman is like just extremely pro-Israel, hates the Palestine supporters, and he like turned a bit. But Fetterman's an oddball. He's an odd one. User unknown, what's up, man? I appreciate it. Who's the worst primary candidate, Jeb or Kamala? Tough one. Kamala was so horrible because they gave her a bunch of money. I think Kamala might have been worse, honestly. But I don't know. I'd have to compare the amount of money because Jeb got a ridiculous amount of money for 2016. I mean, he was the front runner. I don't think Kamala was never the front runner, but she fell out before even being in a single primary, or she didn't even make Iowa. Kamala. Like, that's historically bad. And then she gets the VP. Huh. I mean, and people don't understand how bad her primary campaign was in 2020. Kamala's the amount of money that she got relative to her, not even. I mean, it's like a record. It's almost impossible to be as bad as she was with the amount of money that she was given. Like, you can't even make it to the Iowa caucus. How did Dr. Oz lose to this dude? Yeah, well, Dr. Oz wasn't the best candidate either, let's be honest. And this dude, now he's turning right, Fetterman. The liberals hate him. Suburbs around Atlanta are thankfully largely conservative. It's just the city itself that's liberal. Yeah, but there's other large Atlanta suburbs that are moving very liberal. That's the problem with that state, and why people keep saying it's going to go liberal. You know, liberals, the way I see it with liberals in 28, they're going to go for 100% Georgia. This is because the thing is they've lost any chance at Texas. It's gone. They've lost Florida. They've lost Ohio. So what they're going to say is they'll take Georgia. I'm guessing they're going to want Georgia and North Carolina. They take Georgia and North Carolina, then it becomes more manageable for them, even losing Florida and Ohio. But I think they're going to say, well, we can take based on like the different swings in terms of the movement. Who's moving where? They're going to say, well, we can take Georgia and North Carolina. Because Georgia and North Carolina have still been very close. I mean, so is the Rust Belt is still extremely close. That's the thing. You're highly against calling political opponents dumb as you think it's a bad move to underestimate, but choosing someone who got crushed in a primary with Waltz sure was something. Yeah, just a horrible ticket. That ticket was doomed. I mean, Trump certainly, it was great to see him win by the amount that he won, but the Democrats certainly, like, 100% helped. But, you know, the thing is with the Democrats, all their little people fell in line and said this is the greatest thing ever, and Kamala's brat, and it was hilarious to see that play out. In New Hampshire, and your people were predominantly red, but now all of the Massachusetts liberals are moving up here, killing you. Yeah, that'll happen. I mean, but you also get Republican migration to certain states like Florida, and so it happens. It works both ways. But New Hampshire, I mean, 4 electoral votes. I don't think either party really invests a ton into New Hampshire in 28. New Hampshire, from the voter registration, a lot of you guys are in. You say you're independents, but then to me, I believe there's a lot more registered liberals and conservatives in New Hampshire. But it's a very close state. What was it, like a 4-point Harris win? Is Chris Christie gonna run again? Oh, dude, did you see the video of Chris Christie? They were like, it's Chris Christie. It's Chris Christie, everyone. Like, what? Whoa. Where's the video?
Oh, Trump 2028! Christie!
Christie!
Christie, right? Go Trump! Go Trump!
Christie 28! Christie 28!
Oh, Trump 2028!
Oh man, remember when he went against Trump and he was debating and he was like the anti-Trump guy. I think the Democrats paid him to be the anti-Trump guy. That was like their. Watch your Lego collection video. The Mystery Mansion set is nice. You can open it. Yeah, that's a hell of a set. You know, those Chinese sets are beautiful. Does someone call him Crispy? Chris Crispy. Christie right here. Yeah, and then he was signing autographs in another clip. That was like before a debate. But dude, this dude keeps tweeting out clips of Chris Christie, and they're like, there's rumors Chris Christie is going to run in 2028. Like, dude, you're just making that up. But it wouldn't surprise me. Chris Christie gives it another go for old time's sake. U.S.-Iran nuclear deal. Yeah, guys, this is good value if you vote yes on this, honestly. This is good value. This is going to happen. Imagine having Chris Christie's autograph. I'll take a Chris Christie autograph. What's the deal with the bridge? Didn't he pull some stunt? Yeah, that was his big scandal. The New Jersey bridge. It seems like they got a lot of people there now. I'll just say it seems like there's a lot of people there. It just takes one person too. You want my autograph? I do actually have a signature, but it's for my actual name. It's not for, but I do have a pretty good signature, honestly. I like it. Is Portnoy a liberal? I don't think he even knows what he is. He's like, you know, he's not really he doesn't know much about politics, Portnoy. He says he's like an independent, I'm guessing, if I had to guess. You know those types. Remember that baseball game dude called him corrupt to his face? Yeah, I remember that. The Christie thing. Do the neocons have any power in 2028, or is it over? It's over. It's over. Well, they're still they still have power within because they still have a power within Congress, but it's shifting away. It's not coming back for him. At least 3 businesses have been broken into. Oh, there's a shocker. The Civic Center complex has received significant damage, graffiti, broken windows, protesters. Marines on their way to Los Angeles. They still haven't gotten there yet. Yeah, this is all shit that we already know. Is LA still burning? Yeah, it is. I don't know. They're saying it could get bad tonight. Seems like there's a bigger cohort of rioters. Do you think the Twin Towers would collapse if they were hit by 737s instead? Depends the speed. But it was hard to collapse them with the Boeing planes that they collapsed them with. Really appreciate the time you took on Flight 23 video. Yeah, that was a good one. You know, I got to do more of those videos. The thing is, those videos, it takes longer to do, so, but I do need to do more. I'm really going to look through I'm going to do a video on the 9/11 Commission report, and, you know, there's a lot of other stuff too, but it's just, those videos take a bit longer. Jet fuel can't melt steel beams. Yeah, but you have to understand that's not their argument when they talk about the buildings collapsing. The structural integrity was compromised. They didn't say that they melted them to the core and snapped them. They basically sagged. I'm just saying what they'll say. They're not going to say that they completely melted the beams. CNN trying to bring up big guns back. Will it work? I don't know. All I saw they brought back was Brian Stelter. Your fifth plane theory video was really good, by the way. Thank you. I appreciate it. Aaron Judge seems like a nice guy, a nicer guy than Otani. Everyone loves Otani because I mean, dude, Aaron Judge is like crazy. Imagine if Aaron Judge actually hits, there's no way he's going to hit 390 throughout the entire season. It's impossible. But he could hit like 370. I mean, Aaron Judge is like, I don't even know how this is possible with Judge. They might as well just give Judge steroids. It'd be good for baseball. Seriously. Give Judge and Otani steroids. But it's like, do you really do that? I mean, because then you're talking about like Judge having a 600 on base. If they did that. Can you talk about your living situation? I mean, what do you want to know about it? Cal Raleigh. Yeah, Cal Raleigh is good too, man. But there's no way Cal Raleigh's keeping that up. There's no way. What do you think of those crazy theories that 9/11 was CGI? How is that a thing? Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, you can't really take it seriously. But, yeah, I know a big theory that a lot of people believe is that the towers were, you know, the planes were remote controlled. The thing is I could, you know, you could prove that they're not, but I don't really know if those people, I wonder if the 9/11 stuff will get bigger. Imagine, because the thing is I see clips about 9/11 and people just a lot of what they say is just really false, honestly, like it's really bad. But I mean, the thing is with 9/11, there's all this stuff with Israel, so eventually it's going to come up. You feel like when a liberal sneezes, graffiti paint sprays out. Gross lifestyle. Yeah, dude, that graffiti shit is so just, ugh. Any graffiti is, because they say that's like, you know, those are they'll make murals with graffiti and stuff, but yeah, you don't want any graffiti, man. You think there'll be a rate cut this month? It's not going to happen, man. I'll just be honest. They have to get I mean, if they get a few but they'd have to get the deals done within a week, because the rate cut would happen on the 18th. But the market is not expecting a cut. But there's no way there's going to be a cut. If there's a conservative walkable city in America, you'll gladly stay. I think the biggest city that voted conservative was Oklahoma City. I don't know. That's what I remember hearing. Dublin, Ohio is conservative and walkable. You know, there's definitely smaller cities that are walkable and more conservative. They're not that hard to find, but if you're talking about like a major city, that's becomes a problem. Thoughts on Chris Kyle? What was that movie called? The sniper movie? I saw that in theaters. God, what was that movie called? That movie reminded me a little bit. I thought Lone Survivor was better than that movie, but it reminded me of Lone Survivor. Donald Rumsfeld's speech about financial systems being decades old, that they could not track $2.3 trillion. Yeah, I know, but the thing is they had been talking about that before. Because, you know, as the story goes, he says that the day before 9/11. But if you add the context, they had been talking about it months before as well. But I know what you're saying. It's suspicious. It was called American Sniper. Dude, that was like a huge movie, I remember. They don't have movies like that to where they're like they like I just remember that movie being huge. I mean, it was a fine movie. Favorite professional golfer? I don't know. I mean, I kind of watched golf when Spieth was doing really well. Spieth was like, you know, he had one. Remember when Spieth had a meltdown at the Masters? That's when I watched golf, but that was when I was like younger. But I don't watch golf anymore. Suspicious part was it was never talked about again. Yeah, but I think it was more so like the saying that they just their systems had to be updated. They, not that they lost 2.3 trillion, but that they didn't have account for it. So it was like, well, we don't know where it is. The systems. I don't think he was saying that we lost the money, but I understand, you know. What's your advice for someone with 30K credit card debt? You make 98K annually. Yeah, I've never dealt with debt, man, honestly. I really can't give you good advice on that. You got to try and pay it down though. The interest will keep going up on it. You just have to make monthly payments on it. Well, I mean, it depends on your situation, but it's just tough to have to be saddled with debt. Yeah, no, that's what I'm worried about. Something is going to happen with these protests to where someone loses their shit, drives through a crowd or something. There's so many people. If you've got all these people in one place and they're because they're already throwing shit. It's not like they're doing this thing to where I mean, yeah, they're screaming and stuff, but you'll constantly see where it's like protesters and they bring in police and they've got their riot gear on and they'll just scream. The protesters will scream. This shit they're already doing, like, it doesn't take much. Like, they're already throwing shit. There's a lot of these Mexicans that are just they're just aggressive. They're aggressive, and so you bring it creates a situation. Thoughts on Dave Ramsey? Yeah, I mean, I've seen a few of his. You know, I never really bought the Dave Ramsey style, but I don't really watch many of his videos, honestly. You know, he was really against crypto and kind of got the boomer treatment for it, so it's like. And I know, you know, I understand being against crypto, honestly, especially if you're older, but, you know, he told a lot of people not to buy Bitcoin in like 2015, 2016. It's like, what do you think of trade? Do you think trade schools are worth it or go straight into apprenticeship? Well, I guess it depends if it's depending on what you're going into, if it's valuable to go to the trade school or not, or if you could skip it. You know, because I'm sure there's certain jobs that require extra learning that probably will pay you better rather than go. Well, I mean, I don't know. I'd have you, but it's dependent on the job that you're going into. Why do none of these people have jobs? Who is time to riot on a Monday? Yeah, these are all like middle, like it's like honestly, age 24 to age 30. I feel like dudes mainly. I mean, there are some older, you know, they used to say there would just be a bunch of boomers at these anti-Trump. This is different though. It's really, I mean, you could say it's anti-Trump, but it's more so like anti-ICE, and it's more so the Mexicans. What is the most AI-proof college degree? Probably you know, something that's very hard to get, like being a, well, I don't know, you could say being a doctor, but they probably have programs that are going to be set up to where the robots will do the surgeries and stuff. Do you know what the ranking stuff on the chat is? I don't know what it is. I wish I could remove it, honestly. I don't know what it is. There's no point to it. It's not like you get anything for it. It's just a waste of... You know, the thing is I stopped streaming for a few weeks. I come back and then there's this ranking system. I think I could probably remove it somehow in the settings, but I have to go to the actual settings on my channel to remove it. Not necessarily for a video. Will Michigan get bowl ban and lose Natty for 3 years? I don't think so. The NCAA doesn't have the power to do that. The NCAA might try and strip some wins, but the thing is, they just don't have a lot of power. Nobody really takes the NCAA seriously. That type of stuff, the cheating thing, it's all just based off of like, all right, what they did was wrong. But it's hard to levy a punishment because you don't really know to what degree, you know, in terms of their infractions, how much it helps them. There should be a law banning companies from replacing people with AI. Well, there needs to be some protections from AI, absolutely. I do think the AI stuff, people think it's going to move really fast, and I don't know if it's going to move as fast as people think. You know, and there's a lot of fear-mongering about it. But, I mean, AI is pretty crazy. Like, it has replaced Google search in like, a year's time, 2 years' time, however long we've had these language models. If these people are waving the Mexican flag, why don't they take the chance to live there? It's not like they have to pay ICE. Well, they actually would get $1,000. You know, Trump has a self-deportation thing to where you can get $1,000 for self-deporting, which would go a long way in Mexico. $1,000 USD. I would go a long way. You think Michigan's natty is legit? Yeah, I mean, it's like, is the Astros legit? I mean, you kind of have to accept it. I mean, it happened. It's on TV. It's like, what do you want me to, you know? I guess it depends. It's hard to really scale the, like, okay, this is legal. This is not like it. But I mean, with Michigan, it was kind of next level because they did have that coach going to other teams' games on the sideline. I mean, that's bad. You know, I don't know of another team that did that. That's why they really got pounded for it. When you have the coach actually in person at these games, that's bad. Google is lucky they own YouTube. Yeah, but they also have Gemini, which supposedly is the best language model. So it's like they've even got that covered in terms of. But yeah, I mean, Google search is going to go down in terms of its usage, its traffic. It's going to go way down. But they also have their own AI model. John Anthony, since that AI thinks that AI is going to wipe out humanity, honestly, I highly doubt it, because you doubt AI is going to move so quickly to take us over. Right, I know. Yeah, well, they say it's going to become sentient. That's the whole argument. Yeah. But I mean, the thing is you can predict all this shit all you want. None of the predictions really matter. You know, it's like you predict, oh, AI is going to take over by 2035. What does that mean? I don't even know what that means. Take over in what way? Like, I mean, the problem is what happens when we evolve and when technology gets better and better, we lose rights. That's the issue. That's what governments do. They can control things easier, they can manage everything, and it strips citizens' rights away. And it's all done in the name of safety. That's the thing. So it's like, well, maybe we have enough safety. We have to live as humans. At a certain point, it becomes too much because it's all just control. ChatGPT is the best. I normally use ChatGPT myself. I mean, I've never tried out Gemini, but I mean, you know, they're all, to me, not that they're the same, but the thing is, I'm not a language AI nerd. I know a lot of people will probably be able to tell the difference, but a lot of it's like, if I just wanted to extract information, they could all do it very easily for me. I don't give it in-depth things. Certain things that I've had issues with ChatGPT on, there are some things where it'll just get it wrong, like, and it's really bad. But it doesn't happen a lot. But there are certain topics to where it's like, okay, this is not right. And then Grok will give me something completely different. It's kind of weird. Anyone have a recap on the riots? Well, they're bringing in 2,000 more National Guard, so there's 4,000 National Guard now. They're bringing in 700 Marines that are going to get there either tonight or tomorrow. And there's a bunch of people, and they're saying it's going to get bad tonight. Normally it gets worse at night, so we'll see what happens. Gemini AI video generator is impressive. I know. I've seen that stuff go viral. It's like you'll get it every once every like 2 months, something in the AI field to go viral for development that happens.
The federal officer had injured his hand. He was wearing a mask. The FBI has identified him. Bill Isaly, our incredible U.S. attorney out there working with ATF, DEA, and the FBI have been doing a remarkable...
Hey, Nick C. Dude, I actually got into an argument with it once, and it was just this circle. It was just this, because I was trying to explain to it, you know, and it was ChatGPT, and it was giving me, like, I was pretty angry about it, because I was like, you know, I kept giving it this argument, and it kept just feeding me the same stuff over and over again. It was interesting on, like, the race stuff, but because I knew how to respond to it on everything, but then it would just not make sense, because it kept saying the same thing. And then it would pivot to its same talking point. And then I would say, well, what about this? And then it would pivot back to the other same talking point. And it's just, I mean, it is programmed. But the thing is they've got a lot of great information on those things. The thing with the AI language models is there's nuance. With Google search, I mean, now with Google search really became unusable when they started putting all those ads at the top. But even if it was usable, clicking on like the first few links that aren't ads, it takes you like an hour to find the answer to the question anyways. Like,
remarkable job. That guy has just been identified, and they are doing a search warrant on his house as we speak. And he has been identified. See his face. He is going to be on, his name is Reyes. He is going to be on the most wanted list. You have broken the news. His face is out there.
They're bringing face shields. Wow, they're seriously bringing these face shields. Yeah, who's funding it? $70, $60. There are conflicting reports of how many Marines are actually being deployed to Los Angeles. Yeah, I don't know. I heard it was 700, man. AI on Google isn't helpful. Half the time it's wrong and confuses data. Yeah, well, I know they've also got it built into the search function, the AI. I'm guessing that's another variant of Gemini, but I don't think that's their official thing. Their official language model is like any other language model. You got to go to it, and it's like a text message thing. But like if you look at I mean, I don't even know how they do these AI rankings, but best AI model in 2025, and it's Google. So we'll see, but I think the DeepSeek hype was a bit overrated. DeepSeek might be a bit overrated. DeepSeek is not to the level that people were saying. You know, there's a bunch of like liberal simps that love China. They like cosplay as communists. So they were like, oh, DeepSeek just did something with half of the NVIDIA chips, or, you know, so cheap. And it's like, you know, DeepSeek is behind on their R2 release, and I'm pissed off about it. But Google apparently is ahead. No. You would think ChatGPT would be number one, which is OpenAI, but California giving India a run for its money, lack of cleanliness. I don't think so, man. I don't think anyone's going to beat India. India is just, for a number of reasons, you know, but they have they have horrible air quality. They've got much worse air quality than LA. Their air quality is bad in New Delhi and the surrounding cities there. It's bad. It's horrible in India. Thoughts on the authoritarian style military parade on Saturday? Well, it's good for nationalism. It's good for patriotism. You know, they're going to complain about the cost. What does it cost? $50 million. You know, they saved $20 billion getting rid of U.S. aid. I mean, it's like, well, we can spend some of it. It's $50 million. That's not a lot of money. It's a good parade. And I mean, it's going to be an extensive parade. That's for sure. I hear Republicans, they say they're angry about it. But that's like the new thing, is to grift and be like, I'm Republican, but I'm against this because it's not efficient. Well, it's like, listen, can we not have a parade? All these other countries have military parades. What's the issue? Then they say it's fascist. Because, you know, liberals don't like it when you love your country and you support your country and you're allowed to, you know, have some propaganda. That's what it is. It's propaganda. Are you surprised no civilian protesters have been shot by police? Well, I mean, if they're that, I mean, it's actually a miracle because you look at what's happened to some of the police with their windshields being blown out, and it is a little bit surprising. You know, I know the one thing happened to where they shot the one reporter with, I don't know what it was, and that's really the only thing I've seen. San Francisco is rioting now, over 140 people. Well, San Francisco is just as bad. They are more prepared this time. They are sending trucks of sheriffs, and now they are the front lines of riots. Well, yeah, because, you know, Newsome didn't want to be showed up by Trump bringing in the heavy guns, I'm guessing. So now suddenly they get more prepared for it. Hilarious. Will Elon go on another tangent? Well, Elon's unpredictable. He needs to stay, you know, Trump had said, you know, listen, if you guys really want to know, this has been reported by the Washington Post. Originally, Bannon reported it. Trump this was Musk and Bessent got in an argument about who should be the head of the IRS or whatever the, you know, I don't know if they're getting rid of the IRS, whatever the new agency they're creating is, whatever. And so Musk gave Bessent like an elbow check or like a shoulder check. and then I guess Basent punched him in the face. I mean, this is like Musk is just he's just really unpredictable, and now Musk is trying to make it up and be, but it's like, you know, he's an unpredictable person, and he tends to just do some weird things. So did the Insurrection Act get invoked? No, it didn't. Because everyone would say it would be like a huge thing if it did, unless it just happened and I didn't see it. How do you feel about the Cash Rogan podcast? Very disappointing on the Epstein info, focusing on how he died. I don't care about that, but you want to know who's guilty? We'll never know who's lying. Yeah, Patel is really changing his tune since getting in. You know, he had some conversations with some people that we don't know of, and they told him, you're not allowed to say anything here, let's be honest, Cash. And so he's really changed his tune. But even Epstein, the whole thing with him offing himself, it just doesn't make sense. I mean, I thought this was well known. If you look at the way the wounds are around his neck, it's not consistent with an actual death like that at all. Like they had people investigate, and it's like, this is not... Musk is a man-child, very unfortunate. He can't just be mature. Yeah, I agree. I mean, but with Musk, it's like, you kind of have to placate to him because of the amount of money he has. But Musk really has nowhere else to go, so he's trying to make up already with Trump. He's saying he's agreeing with him on X and doing all this stuff. I mean, this is what it is. He unfollows Stephen Miller. It comes out that he's taking Stephen Miller's wife to whatever his new administration is or whatever, like with SpaceX, I don't even know. And then he refollows him. It's like, we're really doing this. Look at Eric Doherty, recent post. They got Garrett. Yeah, I think I showed that. This is what the protesters have. Pro-Palestinian campus protests now tied to anti-ICE riots. Elon is kind of a Chad to take his wife like that. Well, I mean, that was definitely something that people were talking about during his little crash out. Ghislaine Maxwell is still alive in prison at the moment. Why doesn't someone investigate and ask her more questions? Yeah, that's a good point. Stream every day, please. I don't know, man. You know, I'm gonna have to get on a schedule to where I can upload 3 videos a day. If I have to, because I want to upload 3 videos a day. I think my channel honestly is in a pretty good spot. I think it's in a good spot, but you know, my channel is probably gonna take off, I think, when you look at it, because I've been seeing some metrics and some things under the surface. It's on the verge of like a breakout. I'm not even kidding. I think it's gonna break out. Then how are they sending Marines without the act? Well, apparently you can. I mean, Trump's not going to do it if it's... Trump talks to his advisors. If it's illegal, he'll do it. I mean, that's why this suing is so dumb. Musk is taking them blue chews for sure. Yeah, probably. He's on a lot of stuff, man. Musk, you can tell. I mean, did you see Musk when he was given the key to the White House or whatever it was, the honorary key? He was zooted. He was out of it, man. And then Trump gets asked today, you know, is he high? Is he on drugs when he's at the White House? And then Trump's like, yeah, I don't know, man. Not gonna answer. That's why you need an intro, outro. Like an actual intro. I used to have an intro, but I don't really, you know, my intro, you could see my old intro if you look back in like 2023, I think. 2023 videos I had, but it was all like when I was doing college football videos, I had an intro. It was like this weird intro that was kind of just, it's kind of a queer intro, honestly. Been here since 100K. Been watching your trajectory has been crazy. Yeah, but I think it's gonna be like I think I'll be at like 1 million probably. Probably by like 2 or 3 months from now, I'll probably be at 1 million. Because once you reach the like a growth pattern, I'll be able to just get a ton of growth. Probably, honestly. Man wearing MAGA hat got hit by rioters. I wonder if there's a video of it. The thing is, if I search MAGA hat, it's going to show like things from like 30 years ago. Just the way this is. How dumb do you have to be to wear a cone on your head? It is. Was following you when you only had 20K followers. Yeah, that would have been 20K, man. That would probably 2022. The thing is, you know, every summer I was able to find something. Every summer I was able to find something. First, I had conference realignment. I think that was, what was that, 2023 or 2022? Well, whatever. It was the conference realignment. Then it was the Titan sub, the submersible. I did videos on that. You know, dude, honestly, the submersible... No, I can't say that. The thing is I never had videos in terms of the views until I got, like, because the submersible... I remember getting, like, 400K views in a single, like, 7-hour time period. And it's weird because it's like, really? Over this thing? And it's not even... There's no real rhyme or reason to it. Because, like, you think something like that, is that really bigger news than, like, shit that I cover today that gets like no views and it's just weird. You know, the algorithm is a weird thing. It really is. It's timing it, but that submersible thing, it was like strange. But I had the submersible and then I had the election, and the election kind of took over. You know, the election was just obviously huge. I mean, any political channel is going to just have, whenever it's the election year, it's going to be insane. The videos on, like, with the election, the videos are just, I can't even tell you how easy. Like, imagine I do videos on fucking polling. I do videos on new polls every other day. There's nothing, I don't even have to analyze anything. I don't have to do any, because the thing is once you know how the polling is and stuff, it's just so easy to do those videos. It's insane. Yeah, that was, and I remember doing a lot of those polling videos. It's just insanely easy. Now you kind of have to, and I'm fine with like reading the news and stuff, but you kind of got to know a bit you're going to cover some of this shit. Do you think Musk and Trump will make up in the coming months? I think Musk is already trying to make up right now. From what I've seen, Musk is like agreeing with Trump. So, but I mean, there's going to have to be, you would think there's going to be some apology, but who knows with Musk? He's a weirdo. Thoughts on the wife hearing the submersible implode? Yeah, it seemed like she was really confused on what happened. What was that in the Netflix documentary? Didn't you accurately predict every state in the election? Yeah, I got close. I got close. I think someone told me I might have missed Nebraska. You know how they do it with those districts, man. It's bullshit. I missed a district. I got like all the major ones. I got all the major. The thing is I predicted a sweep on Trump's swing states, so that's basically I mean, it's like 99%. Musk posted a heart for Trump. Yeah, I know. It's like with Musk. Musk is extremely bipolar, so is it really surprising that he's back on the MAGA Trump? It's like, I don't even know why he posted that Epstein shit. It's just, it wasn't even necessary. You were getting a lot of traction on the Alberta thing. Yeah, I know. That's another one. But dude, any one of those types, you know, I had that video about Idaho that did very well. The Idaho movement, Greater Idaho. It's like any type of land thing. The Greenland videos. Honestly, the Greenland stuff is more I'm interested in Trump taking over Greenland, so I like doing videos on it. But even the Greenland stuff was doing well for a while. But that's the thing. There's really been no videos on Alberta, on Greenland. Now I'm just trying to do like more stadium stuff, and I'll do a political video a day, maybe 2 political videos, or just I'll do a stadium video, I'll do a 9/11 video, things like that. And Seltzer poll was hilarious. Yeah, I mean, it's just so fake. Such a fake poll. But then they slurped it up. They said, this is the reason. And the thing is with liberals is they would cope with that poll and be like, well, I can't predict her to win Iowa, but because of this poll, that means all these other states are going to go, you know, red or blue. Would you go on Jerry podcast, DG merch brand? Yeah, I mean, but dude, obviously with the Rogan podcast, anyone would go on the Rogan podcast, but with Rogan, it's you gotta have mainstream appeal, or you know, you have to be in Rogan's sphere, which is like comedy, or because he'll have a lot of lower comedians on. But with Rogan, I mean, you know, if you become mainstream, I could probably get on Rogan, honestly. Make a troll video of Trump purchasing. That would be funny. Will you ever visit Greenland? I don't see the point. I mean, if the United States got Greenland, then you could go there without a passport. A guy you went to high school with was on Rogan. Is he famous? Because Rogan will have on lower comedians sometimes, and he'll have like just people he finds interesting. But obviously Rogan gets, you know, I don't think you can even apply to be on Rogan. There's no point. It would be like 5,000 people, you know, that want to be on. So. Rogan on the protests would be, whoa, that's crazy. Yeah, well, that tends to be, you know, I haven't seen a lot of Rogan recently, but that tends to be a lot of it. Has Rogan gone more to the right? Dude, because honestly, when I was listening to Rogan, it was very clear. He was like one of those moderate right-wing people that kept his options open, you know, to where they say, if the right wing does something I don't like, I'll say I'm left, but he's basically right on most topics. Like, it depends. If Rogan has someone huge on, I don't even know who's like the most recent people. Is there like a list you can see all the recent people Rogan's had on? And I'll tell you if I'd be interested in listening to it. Did you see JD Vance on Theo Von's podcast? Yeah, I saw that. You know, the Palantir stuff was really awkward. But it's like, you can't even explain that. Like, with AI, it's miserable for Vance to explain that. Do you think the U.S. is headed towards a debt crisis? Be real. Well, I mean, you could say we're already almost at a debt crisis. If we have $1 trillion interest payment every year, I mean, come on. I mean, if 50% of our debt every year is interest, it's bad. Nobody really knows with this bill what it's going to do in terms of. Look, I mean, you have to factor a lot of stuff in. You can't just factor the bill in, but you also have to factor in the growth rate of the economy. Because they're predicting a really low growth rate. Maybe it's probably going to be higher. I mean, if we have the biggest tax cuts for the middle class, there's probably going to be more economic activity. It should be a higher growth rate. So it's going to create revenue in the form of taxes that people pay in terms of buying goods. So I don't know. I mean, I think the problem is there's really, you know, this big, beautiful bill is not, they're certainly not basing the bill off of trying to get the debt down. I guess Musk is angry about that. Like, the bills has different objectives. The tax cuts are a huge objective, and the border security, the border funding is a huge objective. Aaron Rodgers was on JRE last week. Yeah, Rodgers has been on there, I think, 3 times now, or two times at least. When Rodgers went on, Zero Football was talked. Dude, that's brutal. You think Rodgers long form, you could get so many interesting stories on NFL games and shit? No one seems to hear Jesse Ventura anymore. He used to do Rogan. Yeah, I remember a clip of Ventura on Rogan that had a bunch of views when I was younger. Odd, what was that even? I don't even remember what the clip was. I just remember it. Will you be featured at the 250th anniversary? Yeah, I'm the Irish representative. Nah. It'll be good to see that. When is that parade happening? I would like to live stream that. Dude, imagine Trump. Dude, Trump's got to throw up a Roman. No. I wonder when whenever that parade happens. Imagine when Trump goes back on Rogan for part 2 after Trump leaves office in 2028. Maybe it'll be the campaign for Vance. Yeah, that wouldn't surprise. I mean, they're going to utilize all that shit. The Republicans will. I mean, everyone says that's what won them the election, and I'm sure it helped. But it's like they're going to do all that shit in 2028 because why would you? Especially someone like Vance who's fine with going on all that shit, those podcasts and stuff. Yeah. Aaron Rodgers got secretly married before signing with the Steelers. I saw he had a ring on, and people were wondering what it was. Yeah, I did see Ventura was anti-Trump, which is really strange to me. Are we gonna have a $250 bills for the 250th anniversary? Imagine, but it was like rarity bills. They only gave out a select few. What happened to the Chinese spy balloon? It got taken out over the Atlantic. Isn't that what happened to it? Yeah, they just let it go through our. They just let it go through our airspace. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this stream. That was a pretty long stream for me. Oh, you want me to do a video on it? Yeah, but it's not really a big story now. He endorsed Kamala. Yeah, that's brutal. That is brutal. What happened to the drones in New Jersey? There's like a private company that was flying them. That's what they said, at least. It was like test drones that a private company was flying. We're taking back Minnesota with these. I mean, yeah, there are a lot of Somalis in Minnesota. Minnesota's close to flipping too, but it's always been close to flipping, so who knows? Imagine they just deport a ton of them out of Minnesota. Minnesota's like a 10-point Republican win. No, that wouldn't happen. All right, I'll see you guys.